Hello, good morning. It's Friday, and it's a big day. And I know that people are feeling a lot of frustration and a lot of anger right now. And I certainly don't blame anyone for feeling angry and frustrated. I get it. Anger and frustration is a very important emotional state that leads to clarity. When we feel anger, we feel clear about what is and is not acceptable to us. And so today, as we're sitting with our anger and our frustration, I really want to just acknowledge that through the veil of this anger and frustration felt by so many, there is clarity. And that clarity is precious. It is a precious clarity. That feeling you get when you're so angry that all of a sudden everything drops away and you see things as they really are, as they really are. That is such an important emotion. Anger itself is a destabilizing emotion insofar as it can cause us to act out in ways that are just merely rebellious as opposed to being transformational. So, my encouragement for all of my sisters today who are feeling angry is to go ahead, give yourselves permission to feel that anger, but let that anger be like the fire that burns away all of the things that you have subtly, quietly, silently accepted for too long in your life, and allow you to become crystal clear so that what's left at the end of your anger is diamond clarity about what will happen next and what you can do. And there's so much that we can do. I have quite a few things to say this morning. So I'm just going to greet folks. I see we have Pippa, Mountain Goddess, Angelia, Red Fox, sending love from across the pond. Yes. And Caragwin and Marlena and Kismet, Jocelyn, Gary, hello. I'm glad you're here today. I see that I've got somebody here on YouTube, but I don't, it's Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Welcome and good morning. So I'm about to say a whole bunch of things. Get ready, because I'm about to say a whole bunch of things. So first of all, I'm pretty sure you're all on board with me in that we know that this has actually very little to do with abortion. It really doesn't have anything to do with abortion. It is that abortion is the hottest hot button that allows for there to be a vector into the female body that can then be leveraged against us. So let's just be clear. This isn't actually about abortion. It's about the female body and, yes, as Red Fox says, our autonomy. So I want to just say something that, might be a little bit hard to hear, which is that for the last 50 years, we have lived under the delusion that abortion rights were equivalent to female sovereignty. And I think we really need to unpack that. It is not the case. Abortion rights have nothing to do with our ultimate female sovereignty. Our ultimate female sovereignty is actually about an uninterrupted flow of our potential, our power, our strength, our talents, our integrity, our gifts, our creativity. Our ultimate female sovereignty is unregulatable. I'm going to say that again. Our inherent female sovereignty is inherently unregulatable. So, by living within the delusion that Roe v. Wade, the thinnest skin, the thinnest, tiniest thread of permission to have the appearance of sovereignty, we have had a comfortable delusion. And unfortunately, I feel that the feminist movement, and I say this as a women's historian and as a woman who loves my foremothers, and you know I do, But I do feel that for the last 50 years, access to abortion has become the defining message of feminism. And that defining message of feminism has happened within a context of us being um, deluded by thinking that by having the patriarchy give us permission to control our bodies vis-a-vis reproduction, that we somehow had sovereignty. We did not. We never did. And for those of us, and I'm about to say, I'm not saying this fancifully. For those of us who have been here for 10,000 years or more in various bodies and incarnations, we know that the bigger deal here is that there is a thing within us that is not capable of being regulated, no matter how many times anybody tries. So it's time for this anger to give us the gift of clarity. The gift of clarity will allow us to occupy the right amount of space, which is all of it. All of it. When we allow ourselves to think that within the patriarchal context of the United States government or any government, that the gift of or the permission to control small things about our lives is somehow freedom, when we allow ourselves to think that way, it's like giving a baby a pacifier. We are not babies to be pacified and put back to sleep. I am not a baby to be pacified and put back to sleep by a court of men dictating something about my body and having me then think that I've been given rights and that I somehow earned rights. My rights are inherent and inviolable. And the reality of the female body is it is inherently inviolable. People can do whatever they want. We'll go ahead and just figure it out. We're going to go ahead and just create our own secret underground clinics. We're going to go ahead and just create our own birth control methods. We're going to go ahead and just create our own underground railroads so that women can get the access to the care that they need. We're going to just keep going with what we've been doing to subvert patriarchy for thousands upon thousands of years. I'm not actually worried about us. What I am worried about is whether or not you can see, or any of us can see, any woman can see, the truth of the matter, which is that this isn't ever, that as Audre Lorde said, that the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. And that if there is even one man on this planet who thinks that he has the right to dictate what even one woman is doing, then that is never his choice to give that woman permission to do something does not equal her freedom. Does not equal her freedom. So, first of all, we stop asking permission. Second of all, we stop seeking legitimacy amongst the patriarchal sort of paradigm. I'm not here to justify to anybody why I have inherent and inviolable rights over my own body, my own actions, or anything I do. I am not here to fight for the patriarchy to acknowledge me. I'm not here so that I can have the illusion of freedom granted to me by men who then congratulate themselves for remaining in power because they are still holding all the cards if they think they get to have a say about what I'm doing. That is not why I came to this planet in this life or any lifetime. I came to this planet in this lifetime and in every lifetime to be a glorious fountain of female power and creativity on this earth. And so did you. And so did you. You are all of it. You are all of it. No one can grant you anything. My sister's like, Let this anger burn away the veil. Burn away the veil so that you will see that you are all of it. That literally nothing happens in your world without you. That there is no possibility of anyone's freedom without you. I'm not here waiting for any man to tell me that I'm allowed to do anything forever in every lifetime. And so into this, we pour the Black Madonna. And you might think, well, now, how are we going to even honor the Black Madonna and her message when all of this is happening and she's part of that patriarchal institution? But she isn't, and she never was. The Black Madonna is everything that has been hidden, forbidden, suppressed, oppressed, repressed by the patriarchal institutions of the church who try to veil us and hold us apart from our power. It's like I don't remember who it was that said this, but somebody said something that I thought was so powerful once. If Jesus tells you you're not allowed to come in the front door, the Black Madonna stands at the back door and says, "Come on in, baby, I made you a plate." So today, as we are in the midst of this painful energetic, it is a painful energetic. We're mad, but that anger can cause one of two things. It either can breed clarity and strategy, or it can breed a desperate scramble to get them to give us something that was never theirs to give. Hear me. It was never theirs to give. So don't let your anger drive you desperately like a lemming over a cliff in the direction of permission ever again. Not now, not ever. Allow your anger to burn away that veil of delusion so that you can see that legitimacy within the patriarchal state is never going to be freedom for us. And I'm just going to take a minute to say, like, you know who knows this? Most are Black sisters. They know this the most. And Audre Lorde knew this as a Black lesbian, descendant of people who had oppressed her ancestors. She knew when she said, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. She knew exactly what she was saying. And I feel that we should really give homage to this sister, this ancestress, who gave us so much wisdom in this lifetime. If you haven't read her books, go read her books. Sister Outsider is a good place to begin. The Black Madonna, and I do believe that Audre Lorde was a Black Madonna on earth in human form. The Black Madonna says, no matter what the patriarchal institutions have ever said or done, I have remained. They can banish me. They can try to, I mean, the story of Our Lady of Tindari, she goes, the sailors go to try to pick her up, to move her. The statue can't be moved. Our Lady of Montserrat, they had to drag everything and build that big cathedral on the mountain because the statue could not be moved. The Notre Dame de Sauterre, the essence, the welling up spring under the earth that can't be contained. This is who we are. This is what the Black Madonna can do for us. So today, let ourselves have that anger, but let that burn through the delusion that it was ever anyone's permission to give. Let that anger burn through the delusion. And I'm about to say something hard, but listen, hear me out. If there is anywhere in your life that a man thinks he is allowed to tell you what to do, that's where you start. You start by letting that man, he does not let you decide. He does not set the tone of your life. And I'm talking about subtle and overt. Overt things are things like men explaining to you things you already know. Overt things are like men, in positions of power wielding something over women. Those are only like the overt ones. But I'm talking about the subtle things. Does a man walk into your house and suddenly change the tone of your entire house for your entire family for the rest of the night because of his misery? No, no more. If he walks in and he's miserable, you send him right back out the door. You say, we were occupying a really good, healthy space here, and you've brought an energy that is not tolerable to it. I think you're going to need to go somewhere and get your head right before you come into this house. Subtle things like that. Men dictating the feeling tone of the house. Subtle things like, well, I really believe in, polarity and that we have to have a balance. No, we don't. I was a lesbian for 13 years. We definitely do not. If we choose to let them into our lives, good. Then they are granted. That's it. There's no polarity that exists that is required for us to have spiritual balance in our lives. It does not exist. It literally doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that men are less than. It means they're their own thing. Let them be. Let them figure themselves out. If you are undertaking emotional labor on behalf of a man who does not have control of his emotions, stop. Just say no. I'm sorry. That's going to be yours to figure out. There's lots of resources, books, videos, doctors, medications, whatever you need, go get it. Figure it out. Really look for the overt and subtle places in your life where you allow male energy to steer you. And instead, take your center back. Do not be steered. If you're in a conversation and you feel like, I shouldn't probably say this because I might hurt his feelings, but it's the truth, say that truth. If you're in a space where you feel like you're being led towards something by a man who's, persuading, arguing, and no matter what you say, he's got some kind of an argument against it until you just feel worn down, walk away. Don't participate. Don't offer reasons. If you say no to a man and he asks you why, say, because I said so. Done. You don't actually have to justify or explain yourself to any man. You don't have to have a reason for deciding you want to or don't want to do something. And furthermore, your body right now and always belongs to you. Sleep with whoever you want, literally. Do what you want, wear what you want, go where you want, say what you want, wear makeup, don't wear makeup. I don't care. Do the things that you are called to do, not because anyone else, especially not any man, decides it's okay for you. So the Black Madonna, even right now, she's with us. She's with us. She is this holy rage that is bubbling up inside. And I actually have a hymn that I wrote that I'm going to sing to you because I'm feeling it. When the world as we know it grows dark and cold and falls apart, we must change, and we know it with holy rage and open hearts, and the dead will walk beside us as we find a better way with divine light inside us. We will shine a brighter day. This world and all life is, was, and always will be ours to create. We choose, we pick, we decide, we run this. Don't forget that. Let your anger cement it. Don't forget it. So now I'm going to draw a card. After everything I've just said, it's time to get a message from the mother herself. What does she want to share with us today? What comes spontaneously from her, the eternal fountain? She knows. Okay, you don't want us to do this out in public? Then we'll do it in private. Okay, you want us to invent things? We'll invent things. We'll invent new ways. There's already a new pill on the market that is not an abortifacient pill. It's a pill that blocks fertilization. It's akin to day after pill, but instead of being abortifacient, it's a sperm blocker. So our card today is Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine. Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine. I ask you to surrender all of your future thinking to me. Although the future contains the promise of great blessings, do not let this distract you from the blessing of this moment. I ask you to open your arms to this blessing in the here and now. You are the fruit, sweet and heavy on the vine. The time for harvest has come. This is your time. Many of us who love the Holy Mother are dreamers. We might be practical, conscientious, hardworking, attending to the details of daily life and spiritual consciousness, but we always have hope in our hearts. That hope may be for the future, our future, the children's future, the future of the planet. This hope is a precious light. It is needed in the world. Yet our light of hope is also needed in the here and now. We need to be living the divine right now, not only dreaming of a more divinely aligned life in the fantasy of our future. I have like hot chills. I'm like having a hot flash and chills at the same time. The Mother wants us to live our light right now, to benefit ourselves and our world with our presence. Now, yes, we are always growing. Yes, there is readiness now. This oracle comes as a confirmation. There is something within you that is ready for this moment. Even if the immediate reality does not match your fantasy that you once held about where life would be, when you would finally share more of yourself with the world, you are ready, and now is your time. It is in your shining forth that manifestation happens, not waiting for it to happen before you reach the destination. If you do this, the destination will always be in the future rather than right now. I'm sorry. I'm like literally really having a hot flash and chills. Your manifestation happens through you as you acknowledge that you are already what you are seeking. You are just bringing it to the light. In this oracle, the Mother asks that you honor the light that is ignited within you right now, and to act upon that light with complete faith. The dreamers are needed in this present moment. We can help the sacred becoming, the healing of the world, according to the Divine Mother's grace, by how we choose to be at this time. We're not just building spiritual consciousness for a future time. We are building it to live in it now. Now is the time to know that you are her chosen child, her heavenly child, that you are divine in the flesh. This is your time to be living with complete abandon into your own soul, knowing that the spiritual energy now manifesting itself in your physical reality is not only a blessing in your future, that it is the blessing for you to succeed in this present precious moment. This oracle brings you the particular message: you are more ready than you think you are. For whatever most concerns your heart, or for whatever is already right at your feet, do not shy away. It is your time for harvest. Open your arms, gather your abundance to you. Trust the abundance will benefit others, because the more you have to give. The manifesting desires of your heart are the heavenly fruit, becoming heavier and heavier on the vine, ripening, ready to be enjoyed. Fruit that is not gathered and eaten will rot. It will feed the earth to be reborn again. Nothing is wasted. Yet the fruit of the now could be so sweetly savored by those capable of receiving. This is there is so much waiting for you in this moment. Gather the harvest. Accept what is good. Let gratitude fill your heart. You've worked hard. Let it be rich and bountiful in all ways. Let your divine inheritance come to you now as naturally as the fruit ripening on the vine. The time for success is fast approaching, and it will happen as naturally as fruit ripening on the vine. If we only see this situation as an obstacle, we will act as if getting back someone else's permission for the illusion of freedom is the goal. But it's not the goal. Ultimate female sovereignty is the goal. So instead of seeing it only as an obstacle where we then might go scrambling, like begging for permission to be whole, to be free, to have the illusion of freedom granted unto us by the patriarchal state. Instead, let's just see it as an obstacle miracle that is going to give birth to thousands upon thousands of women's healing centers, women's connections, women's communes, and not in a weird cultish sense, but like in a healthy sense, women's spaces, women's sovereignty, women's ability to govern ourselves, women's choice not to conform or comply. Let's go ahead and say, thank you, obstacle miracle, for revealing to us the depth of delusion that we were harboring. Thank you, obstacle miracle, for showing us that the master's tools will truly never dismantle the master's house. Thank you, obstacle miracle, for showing us who we are and what we are capable of. And thank you, obstacle miracle, for burning away the veil that had us believing delusion. From here, we will manifest our greatness in thousands of untold ways, ways that can't yet be predicted, but can be sensed and felt. We know something will come of this. And whatever your gift is, be willing to lend your gift, not just to the struggle of getting legitimacy from the patriarchy. Wrong struggle. My gift in this world, in this lifetime, has been and remains to show women that they are absolutely 100% capable of making their wildest dreams come true. And I don't do this by telling them how to do it. I do this by giving them, and I don't do it by fake female empowerment that's like, yes, sister queens. No, I do this by showing women that strategic thinking, bringing ourselves to a place of ultimate authority, not letting anyone tell us what to do, and being 100, 1,000, 10,000% confident in ourselves is the way to go. You can do that too. It's a lot of heavy lifting. All of us who are doing it need help. Do your part. Your part starts by saying no to anywhere in your life that a man is under the delusion that he's in charge of you. From there, once you're liberated of that particular energetic burden, just think about what you could possibly do with all your gifts, talents, and energy unharnessed. Okay, time to chant. Let's do Guanyin practice. Are you ready? We're going to do Guanyin practice, and we're going to do it so that all of Guanyins, in Sri Lanka, there's a form of Guanyin called Kali Manyo. She's a combination of both Kali and Guanyin. She's a form of Guanyin that wields weapons. She's a form of Guanyin that is a destroying goddess, as well as a benevolent goddess. And in fact, her destruction is benevolent. So this is the form of Guanyin, little known form of Guanyin, that I'm calling on today. Join me and let's chant for all of the people who might still be laboring under the delusion that they need to ask for permission to be in charge of themselves, or that there is any body that could grant them permission to be in charge of themselves. 3 prostrations before the shrine. And this hot flash, my God. And remember, we don't bow to Guanyin because she needs us to. We bow to Guanyin so that we can place ourselves at her feet and really receive her help. It's a way of surrender and saying, act with me and through me. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set this intention for anyone who's currently struggling with the Supreme Court's decision this morning, or anyone who still labors under the delusion that there is going to somehow be patriarchal recognition of female sovereignty. And let's recite the 4 immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guan Yin Pusa as we call upon Guan Yin in her form of Kali Manyo, the weapon-bearing Guan Yin who destroys delusion. Namo Guan Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin 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 Pusa, Guanxin Pusa, Namo 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 Guanxin Pusa. My hair is coming undone, like all kinds of things are happening over here. Okay, like seriously, my hair thing just literally exploded off of my head. Okay, all right. So, our prayer to Yeshitsugo. Yingchutaki somo karchansa, dusum kuncham pema junyeki, sangso dupo dechen so gyamar, so adab so chiptun nudrup so. Mother of space, foremost of Dakinis, Lady Karchanza, gatherer of the vast secret treasury of Padmakara, knower of all, past, present, and future, Mother Sogil, great bliss queen, to you we pray. Grant us cities, extraordinary powers, ordinary and supreme. Ying Chuktaki Somo Karchansa, Dusumkin Chepe Majingeki, Sangso Dupo Dichin So Gelmar, So Wadepso, Chiptun Nudrup So. And now 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum, sending out the energy of ultimate female sovereignty to anyone who labors or suffers under the delusion that it's any man's job to give us permission for anything. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for all of our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti, through the powerful blessings of the from let's start that again. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the extraordinary Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of supreme bliss, Yeshe Wangmo, be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. And may we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxian Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin and a bow to one another. I see you in your ultimate sovereignty. And a bow to the inner teacher that always knows the truth of the matter, which is that nothing and no one can take from you what is inherently inviolable. And I will be back on Monday. Try to have a good weekend. Get on out there and celebrate. Be the everlasting, joyful, creative love that you were meant to be, and let our joy and our freedom light the way for this sovereignty so that we don't allow the pain and disappointment and anger and fear to overtake us and convince us that we are anything less than we are, which is goddesses on earth. Oh my God, my hot flash. I've never had such a strong one during practice.